David here with Metro Jiu-Jitsu, and today we're talking about fools. And fools, look out for number one. Let me explain this to you. And so it reminds me of an old story, right? An old story, and it was comparing heaven and hell. And this isn't getting religious. It's just kind of a fable, right? A story. And it was comparing the one table, and you had everyone's got like 12-foot long arms, right? And there's this big buffet of tons of different, everything you can imagine on this table to eat. Appetizers, desserts, the whole 9 yards. And they were comparing the two, and from a snapshot, like you see everyone grabbing food, right? Both have, heaven, best, hell, worst. And then you're comparing them, and then someone looked at it and said, well, I don't get it. They both have the same thing. What's the difference? And these arms are so long that they can't get the food in their mouth. And they're like, oh, that's simple. In heaven, they feed each other, right? And that's just kind of a fable, an old wives' tale, if you will. But the impression stuck with me. If somebody's only looking out for themselves, okay? If somebody's only looking out for themselves, that's a foolish and short-term mindset. Everything we do, we all know somebody who, man, they are just looking out for everybody else. They're always looking to help someone. I look at those as planting seeds. I'm not expecting anything in return. If I go to help somebody, if I do something nice, if I want to lend a hand, if I put out tons of free content, these Metro drives, this is a lot of this information. This is stuff I've paid for. Okay, these are things from my own coaches, things that we've paid for, lessons that I've had to learn the hard way. This is free content, and my goal is to add value with nothing in return. If you get nothing out of these, or if you get huge value out of these videos and we get nothing back, I'm okay with that. Because it's a long-term game. It's a long-term mindset. Someone who's only interested in themselves. You see this a lot, right? Someone's like, I got my own goals and I want to do this and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get there. And I will step on and use whoever I need to use to get there. And once they've served their purpose, I will drop them like third period French, right? So we all know those people. I've been burned by those people. You've probably been burned by those people. And what do we know? The justice, the poetic justice of it is that when you see them in 5 or 8 or 10 or 15 years, when you have that, that breadth of experience to look back on, you're like, man, that's why you don't play the short game, because it won't pan out. Conversely, look at people like myself. Like anyone who knows me, I've talked about the same things I'm talking about for over a decade. They were laughed at amongst my peers when I was 19. But now that I'm 31 and on, you're like, oh, I think I see this a little bit, And these are things that we reinforce at Metro Jiu-Jitsu, in our summer camp, and our after school, it's in our core value, who we are as owners, me and Coach Muhammad and our wives and all of our coaches. We reinforce those. We're not in this for quick gain. We're here. And if you go back to our page 2 years ago, we wanted to be a staple in the community, to serve the community. And that's worked out for us, because it just does. You can call it whatever you want. You reap what you sow. I look at it as planting seeds. So here's your challenge. What are you doing short term? Where are you playing the short-term game? It could be something simple, right? It could be something simple as a short-term game. Diet's a real easy one. Short-term pleasure with sugary cake or ice cream or candy or whatever, or pop, soda. Short-term pleasure, long-term failure. It's not a long game. Or maybe you're doing something, you are taking a job for a little bit more of a raise, but maybe it's unethical. It's unethical work, or it's dirty work, right? So you have to kind of keep that in mind. Well, or it doesn't, who you're working for doesn't have good morals or ethics, that's not going to pan out. Guys, I can't answer your specific situation, but I can tell you, somebody who's looking out for themselves and not looking to help others will not succeed in the long game. Guys, I'm Coach David with Metro Jiu-Jitsu. As always, I'll see you on the mat.